What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to a21bravo. Today we're coming at you with some good news and some bad news. The good news is I did find a kit, like the gasket kit that I'm waiting on. Little bit of a backstory. I ordered a gasket kit and it didn't ship yet, and I was supposed to have it like a week ago and it didn't ship yet and they lost it. So the good news is I did find an identical kit at O'Reilly's, but the bad news is it's $130 more than the kit that I ordered. So I'm not gonna get that one, but I was able to find a similar kit. They're ordering it from their distribution center and it should be here tomorrow. All else fails, I'm gonna pick that thing up tomorrow and get cracking on this. And then if I do ever end up getting that other kit, then I'll just save it for a different build or something later on. The only thing that's missing out of the other kit that I got is this little retainer plate thing. This is for the camshaft retainer plate. I have two of these, but I don't really like the seal that's on there. This is supposed to seal up the oil passage on the front, and these are pretty wore down and I don't really like them, so I want to get a new one, but these are pretty cheap. So if I can find one of those things at a different store, I'll pick up that other kit and should be able to finish putting this thing together tomorrow and then get it in the truck within another 3 to 7 weeks. So what I'm gonna do today is start putting the heads and everything back on. I can get the valley cover and the heads and the sensors and everything back in the engine. I can't do the back plate, the timing cover, or the oil pan or anything yet, but I can throw the heads on and get that stuff going. Let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is throw our valley cover gasket on. And this one I'm just reusing. This one seems to be okay. Put the valley cover back over the top. Do all these little gaskets down at the bottom. Those are, I don't know, look okay. Push those down over where the knock sensor threads are. And you can kind of hear them as they go down. It went over the knock sensor hole. We got 10 bolts. These are all supposed to be the 18 foot-pounds. A lot of these little bolts on here like this are all 18 foot-pounds, but I'm not going to be that fancy. Probably hold off on putting the knock sensors in till later. Now we can start with the heads. All right, so I am going to go through and lubricate these cylinders. There was some concerns in the comments about me not lubricating these and sticking these in dry. I was planning on doing this. I'm gonna just dribble a little oil in there. Just gonna kind of run these through so we can get some lubrication on the cylinder walls and in the rings. So I wasn't planning on running it dry. I mean, I did run it dry in the last one that I replaced when I got the bolt through the engine and I put the new piston in there. I didn't really lubricate it that much. I mean, I wasn't really too worried about it, and it ended up being fine. So all right, so we're gonna throw the head gasket on now. Now that we got the cylinders kind of lubed up a little bit, we do have a front section on the gasket, so that's going to go towards the front of the engine. So I'm going to lay this thing down on there, line it up as brustical I can, and I'm actually going to get the dowel pins. I got to make sure that I put these dowel pins in, alignment pins. I think they're actually in the heads. Alright, so I got both the dowel pins. Had to work this one out of the head a little bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and pop these in. Pop the alignment pins in, head gasket on. And I'm going to take the head, line those up just like that. Man, I love how easy this stuff goes together. Okay. So bolts, I got a new set of bolts, head bolts. These two shorter ones, you see there's different sizes. The two shorter ones go on the outside, in by the springs. This smaller set goes up top here. This larger set goes in all the other holes. And I know a lot of you guys watching are probably like, why are you doing new head bolts? And typically you can reuse these a couple times and they're okay. The set that I had, well, the set that came with this engine was questionable. I didn't really understand the history on it. I don't know if they were already reused or what. So I'd rather not reuse them if I don't know. If I knew that they were stock, used once, I'd be fine with it, but I'm not really sure, and I'm pretty sure that engine was already rebuilt once. So the other set that I had, I already reused. I torqued to 95 foot-pounds, and I ran it on like gobs and gobs of boost and blew up the motor. So those I just decided to stay away from. And there is a certain sequence that these should be tightened in, but I'm just kind of getting them hand tight for now. I don't know if I like that little goober paint crap that's on them. I don't know if I really like that stuff. It kind of makes it tight. Tight when it shouldn't be tight. Goober, goober. So I put a couple of them in and then pulled it out, and that thread locker stuff was like completely gone off of the end of it. So I don't even really feel like it's that useful. What do you guys think? What do you normally do? For all the pros. The pros out there. So see how it was like really hard to get down, and now it's really easy? It's like wearing all that crap off before it even gets down to where it needs to be. So I don't really feel like it's doing much, but... And I'll put the top bolts in place. There's 5 of them. Alright, so as far as torquing these things goes, you're supposed to go from inside to outside. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that. So basically starting in the middle, working your way out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I already tightened these, so I already broke that rule, but whatever. So yeah, I already went through and tightened these pretty tight, working in and then working out, starting in, working out. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna do 2 passes on these. I'm gonna do one to like 40 and then one to 80. There's a couple different specs you can find for ways to do this. One place you look says do them to 22 pounds and then do one pass at 90-degree turn and then another pass at 90-degree turn. So I've done it that way, and I've also done it where I just torque the shit out of it and be done with it. So I'm gonna go to like 40 pounds. What I should do is do one way and one the other way and see what happens. That'd be funny. So I'll do one to like 40 pounds, 40 foot-pounds, and then maybe I'll go to like 85 or 90 on the second one. I think you're only supposed to go to like 75, but we're gonna live a little. So this one's 40. If I snap a bolt off, then you know I went too far. Alright, so those are all at 40 now. And I think I'm just going to go right to 80. Let's go to 82. Just for giggles. And you guys can yell at me in the comments for how wrong I'm doing this. Okay? Fair enough? Making me nervous. Don't break, don't break, don't break. We're gonna skip that one for a little bit. Okay, that one got it. There we go. The first one was making me sweat a little bit. Yeah, I did the other engine to like 90 or 95, so okie dokie, artichoke. All right, so I'm gonna get going on the other side now. I'm gonna kind of do it the same way. Just gonna tighten these top 5 from inside into out until I feel like they're good. I'm sure it don't need to be perfect. We're not building churches here. Just for giggles, let's do it the other way. On this side, we'll do the 22 foot-pounds first, and then we'll do a 90, and then we'll do another 90. So we'll basically do 180, and I'll show you guys how we're doing that. So we're at 22 foot-pounds now on the torquey forky. 22. Supposed to do for this method is mark a line. Straight across. I don't know, I don't really like this method. It's kind of dumb, I think, but should just have a spec on it, but whatever. So we'll test a couple different methods here. So I'm gonna set it to 75 foot-pounds, but for this method, the 90 degree method, basically gonna take that line and turn that line 90 degrees on the second pass. So I'm gonna do that now. So now you know exactly which way your mark is. So that one there, I have this torque wrench set at 75 foot-pounds right now, and that one just snapped 75 foot-pounds on the first 90 degree turn. So that one's already turned. I'm gonna go through and finish turning the rest of these. So now just for giggles, this is set at 75 foot-pounds, which is also another spec that I found. I'm gonna try to get the other 90 degrees out of it and see when it clicks, if they click at 75. So that one's the first 90 degree turn, and if I turn it any more than 90 degrees, it's already at the 75 foot-pounds, that first one. So this first one, it only turned like not even another 45 degrees, and it already clicked at 75 foot-pounds. So now let's see where this one goes. You can tell by the angle of the wrench. So that one's at 75, which is also another spec. So now let's see if I go to 82 foot-pounds, where is that thing gonna click at? If I go to 82, we'll match the other side now and see if I can get the other 90 degree turn out of this thing. The rest of the 90 degrees. See, that's 82, and that thing's only turned 45 degrees. That one's turned about 45. That one's turned, yeah, 45 now, basically. So here we go. Let's see what we get out of this one. See, that one went almost the full 90. So there's your full 90 on that one. There's 82, but I only got 40 degrees out of it. Alright guys, so this ended up being a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So all of these lines, when I drew them on the head bolts, they were horizontal this way. So the one torque spec says to go 22 foot-pounds, then 90 degrees, then 90 degrees the other way. So basically you end up with a line horizontal this way, you start with a line horizontal this way, and then you end up with it flipped completely around. So actually checking with the torque spec, this clicked at 82 right here. This one went the full 180 degrees. This one went over the 180 degrees. This one only went, I don't know, a little over 90, but they're kind of all over the place. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so here it is. We got this thing starting to take shape a little bit now. Got the heads back on. Looks pretty good. think it looks pretty nice when it's all cleaned up. All right, guys, so let me know what you think about that little torquing test that we did. We basically tested it 3 different ways. We torqued it just to whatever it felt like doing at 80, first pass at 40, second pass at 82, just a random number. One spec I found was like torqued to 75 foot-pounds, and then one place I looked, it says 22 foot-pounds, then 90 degrees and 90 degrees. So there's different specs depending where you look. It's all out there, it's all online, so figured we'd test them all. And it was interesting seeing the 90 degree turn torque spec versus the 82. So when I put 82 on the wrench and tested to see where the angles would land, they were all over the place. So kind of interesting if you're using one versus the other and you're picking one and you think it's good and it might not actually be good or whatever. So I don't know. So honestly, I've used both in this truck before. I did the 90 degree turn and I did the just torque the crap out of it, and I went to like 95 foot-pounds. So didn't really have any problems when I had it torqued to 95 and the bolts didn't break. I don't know. What do you guys do? Let me know in the comments. Have a good one.